Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over some 5 tips for concrete care. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Here are 5 easy and relatively inexpensive ways to keep your concrete as strong as King Kong. Let's face it, it's easy to take concrete patios, sidewalks, driveways, and basement and garage floors for granted. After all, they seem pretty invincible as you walk and drive all over them day after day, month after month, and year after year. And concrete is pretty strong and durable until it's suddenly not. Like a weightlifter who stops working out, an unmaintained concrete slab can slowly deteriorate. Couple that with the fact that concrete isn't cheap, and it's clearly in your best interests to protect this seemingly invulnerable investment with a little TLC. One recent survey pegged the average nationwide cost of installing a concrete patio at about $2,600. And that's for a patio, not for a poured floor. So with that in mind, here are the 5 tips. Concrete should always be coated with a protective sealant to repel moisture and resist stains. Why? Well, it appears to be as solid as a rock, but it's very porous actually. As such, it absorbs water. And in most climates, that's not good for longevity. For newly poured concrete, experts recommend not applying a sealer until the concrete cures completely, which takes 28 days. What kind of sealer would you use? There are basically 2 kinds, acrylic resin and penetrating sealers, and applying them is not a one-time proposition. How often you'll need to reseal your concrete depends on factors like the weather and how much vehicle and foot traffic it receives. But generally speaking, you'll need to reapply acrylic resin sealers roughly every 2 years, while penetrating sealers can last 5 to 10 years. Either way, sealing concrete is a fairly easy DIY project. All you need is a reputable sealing product and a paint roller with a 3/4 inch nap. The cost of sealant will vary by locale, but will typically run between 15 and 25 cents per square foot. Oils and other chemical stains not only look bad, but they can eventually lead to concrete deterioration. Moreover, because concrete is porous, it's best to clean stains quickly before the material can seep into the concrete. Here's where Acid Magic from Serdal International comes in. The video is not sponsored by them, but I will have a link for it down below. For rust, scale, mineral buildup, and mildew stains and other stains, even efflorescence, this eco-friendly yet still powerful form of muriatic acid, an intense cleaning agent, is your new best friend when it comes to cleaning concrete. Acid Magic is a safer alternative to standard muriatic acid and a 1-for-1 replacement. Better yet, it generates up to 90% less fumes, which makes it easy to use indoors with proper ventilation. Furthermore, thanks to its buffering agents, it won't burn intact skin. Of course, you should still wear gloves and eye protection while using it. Acid Magic is the best and safest way to remove stubborn rust, hard water, and mineral deposits from a variety of surfaces. It can be used to remove calcium and scum buildup on steel and iron parts, most plastics, painted block and metal, and other non-porous, non-metal surfaces. We'll start off by going over some precautions. While using Acid Magic, protective eyewear and gloves are always required, and active ventilation is required when working indoors. When diluting, always add the Acid Magic to the water, not water to the Acid Magic. This eliminates the potential of an unwanted reaction that may cause dangerous splashing to occur. Don't apply it to dry surfaces. Always wet the surface prior to application, including any adjoining areas, in case of accidental spillage or overspray. Do not allow the surface to dry with the acid magic on it. Use caution when applying acid magic to avoid contact with other surfaces such as wood or metal, as an unwanted reaction and discoloration of surfaces could occur. Avoid contact with vegetation. Excess solution should be diverted away from grass, trees, and shrubs. Should accidental contact with vegetation occur, flush it with large amounts of water. If you need to dispose of acid magic, follow all local, state, and federal regulations regarding muriatic acid. Now we'll move to using it. Dilute 1 part of acid magic to 4 parts water. For application, prepare a baking soda solution prior to application. The baking soda solution can be obtained by dissolving 2 to 4 parts sodium bicarbonate or baking soda to 100 parts water. With gloves, apply an acid-resistant spray bottle or sponge. Lightly scrub the surface with a natural soft bristle brush or scouring pad. Rinse thoroughly with water. If another application is needed, repeat and rinse. Rinse again with water. Apply the baking soda solution to the surface to neutralize any remaining acid and scrub it with the scouring pad. Flush it thoroughly with water and repeat it as necessary. Experts advise against using deicers on concrete, especially not before it's a year old. Interestingly enough, it's not the deicers that actually cause the problems. It's the increased number of freeze-thaw cycles they induce. Here's what happens. De-icing agents work by chemically lowering the temperature at which water freezes. As they work, de-icers convert snow and ice into a salty brine solution. This solution keeps thawing and refreezing as the weather and temperatures change, which means the concrete endures significantly many more freeze-thaw cycles than it otherwise would. Furthermore, this briny solution keeps migrating into the porous concrete, where it also freezes and thaws, causing more damage. Keep in mind that water volume increases about 9% when it freezes and expands. De-icers that contain ammonium nitrates and ammonium sulfates are especially bad because they actually attack concrete chemically. Rock salt or sodium chloride or calcium chloride can inflict less damage, but they harm vegetation. Using sand and thoroughly shoveling and scraping off snow and ice is the best alternative. Painting or coating a concrete floor with an epoxy covering can make it not only more attractive, but helps it last a little longer by protecting it from nasty stains and other corrosive elements. But before you do anything, you must do the prep work and you need to etch the concrete. Why? Etching helps open up the concrete's pores, which in turn allows it to better bond with the paint. And that forms a tight adhesive seal. Sure, you could skip this step, but only do that if you really love periodically repainting your floor. Now, you could go through the expense and hassle of hiring a contractor to shot blast the concrete, but it's easier to just buy some acid magic and use it to etch the concrete. Some simple rules apply just like before. Start with a diluted 1:4 ratio of acid magic to water. 1 gallon of acid magic to 4 gallons of water. If that doesn't do the trick, you can try a 1:2 ratio. Moreover, always add the acid magic to the water and not vice versa. And use it only on concrete that's more than 90 days old, and never apply acid magic to dry concrete. Always wet it down first. Just as water can seep into concrete, it can also migrate up from below. Poor perimeter drainage, climate conditions, leaky pipes, high water tables, and so forth can cause this condition, which is problematic because damp concrete and paint mix about as well as oil and water. And if you don't know how that works, it doesn't. The bottom line is that paint doesn't adhere very well to moist concrete. So how do you know if you have a moisture problem? Aside from obvious visual evidence, you can perform a fast and inexpensive test. Just cut a 16-inch by 16-inch piece of plastic sheeting and affix it to the floor with duct tape on all four sides. After 24 hours, peel off the plastic sheet to see if there's condensation on the underside or a damp, dark area on the concrete floor. No condensation or darker area? Well, it's all good to go and ready to etch. If not, it's time to call a professional. Expansion joints, those felt-lined gaps between concrete slabs, allow room for the slabs to expand and contract as weather conditions change. If those joints aren't watertight, however, water gets under the slabs, which can cause them to pitch and heave and rise and sink. The resulting stress can crack the slabs. To prevent this, remove worn-out felt gaps and fill the gap with a self-leveling sealant, which is available at hardware stores and home centers. Here's how to do it. Use a utility knife to remove the old felt. You might even need to use an angle grinder to get it all out. Please remember to wear gloves and safety glasses if you're using an angle grinder. If you don't own an angle grinder and don't want to invest in a tool you aren't going to use very often, Harbor Freight offers an angle grinder for $15, and many home centers also rent them. When the felt's removed, use a shop vac to collect the debris in the joints, and to minimize the amount of sealant required to fill the gap, fill it with a closed cell foam backer rod, also known as filler rope. Buy backer rod that's about 1/8 of an inch larger than the expansion joint gap. Push the backer rod into the gap far enough that it tucks under the bottom of the slabs. Follow the manufacturer's directions to apply the self-leveling crack sealant. Acid Magic is also sold at Ace Hardware and True Value, as well as many pool supply companies. I hope you all enjoyed the video and learned something new. I will see you all again on Wednesday. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, and check us out on Facebook at Outdoors with A&T. We've also got a Patreon page with 3 different membership options, so don't forget to go check that out as well. So, I'll see you all soon. Until next time, bye for now.